Hey everybody, it's Karen with Food and Family, and today I have some special guests with me. This is my daughter-in-law's, our daughter's mother, Tami, and
my other sister.
she's going to be making biscuits with us. So we've got a show for you today. We've got 3 different biscuits. We're going to do Tami's hand-rolled biscuits, Stephanie's bacon cheddar biscuits, and mine and Parker's scooped out biscuits. So let's get started. We're going to start with Tami's biscuits today. So I'm going to kind of slide on the other side of her and we're going to talk about it. So, and let her tell you how she does her biscuits. So let's begin. What temperature do we have the oven on?
450.
450. Preheated 450 oven.
And we're going to start out with 3 cups of flour. Self-rising white lily flour is what I use.
I love white lily. I think
do
it's
too.
the best you can ever get.
I use it for everything. All right. That's 1.
How long have you been making biscuits, Tami?
Oh gosh. Since I started out trying to figure it out myself and they were hard as a rock. Then I learned the more Crisco you use, the fluffier they get. And I make what they call cat head biscuits.
Yeah.
I roll them in my hand, and usually I make them big, but I'm not going to do them real big today. This is the old-fashioned way that my grandmother did it.
Oh, that's the best kind of recipe.
Okay, we got 3 cups of flour. Okay. And then I need to grease my pan, so I'm going to grease my pan before I start making the biscuits. So
She does it the old-fashioned good way.
Yeah, I do it with my hands. I don't use anything to stir.
And we washed our hands. We promise they're clean.
And I sanitize.
That's the pet peeve. So everybody knows we wash our hands.
I'm funny about my food. I don't want anything. Okay, so now we're going to go with 1/4 cup of shortening. My daughter has this real neat measuring thing.
Since
Okay. And what I do with my flour is I make a well. I kind of, can you see that?
I can, yeah, and we'll hold
Okay.
it up and let them see it too.
I just make a well and I'm going to put my shortening in there and work it into the flour a little bit. You want to keep some flour on the side because you got to keep your hands floured so the biscuits will stick to you when you're rolling them. So there's the shortening. Okay, I'm going to mix it a little bit.
Okay, so you just kind of work it in with your hands instead of like pastry blender or a blending fork.
This is the way Grandma used to do them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to put a cup of buttermilk and work that in.
Now you using whole fat or low fat buttermilk?
Whole.
Okay. Whole fat is thicker, so if you're using a low fat buttermilk, you may not need to use as much as she's using because it's a lot thinner. But, and my daughter-in-law told me about this with the low-fat buttermilk. She says she adds a tablespoon of melted butter to the low-fat, and it brings up that fat content for the whole milk, and it works out just beautifully.
Yeah,
so that's something to think about, you know, if you don't have or can't find whole buttermilk. And we've had a time finding whole buttermilk. I don't know what the difference is, but we've just had time getting it. Now that's coming together beautifully, making a beautiful
You have to keep
dough.
working it until it gets to the consistency where you can roll it.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make sure you keep some flour in there. And if I have to add a little more just to roll them out, I will. But I think we're doing good for now.
Keep them at that right consistency.
Okay. Now, here we go. Now that I got all the gooey stuff off of my hand, I could roll. And see, they roll really easy. And you can make them as big as you want. I just grab a palmful and roll them around and then press them out.
Kind of like a little technique. Yeah, hold up and let them see how you roll them.
Okay. I just didn't want to get flour all over your counter.
Yeah, no, it'll clean
I
up.
use about this much and then I roll it around till it sticks together good. But not stick to my hands. I try to keep flour on it. Okay, and once you get it to that consistency, Put it in the pan, kind of mash it down a little bit.
Okay, that's smoothing it out and making a pretty biscuit.
Yeah,
My grandmother could pinch those biscuits off and roll them to no end. And at the end, it was so sweet. I never forget. She'd take her 3 little fingers and dab across the top of them. You always had that little indentation. And I'll never forget watching her do that growing up.
Okay. Like I said, I don't measure. I just pick up, pinch, and roll.
Now, do you top them with anything?
I cook them halfway on 450 for about, let's see, 9 minutes. And then take them out of the oven. And then I put melted butter on top of them.
Okay, so you do that halfway and not in the beginning. We're back. She just took the biscuits out of the oven. And they've been baking for 9 minutes. So now she's going to brush her butter on it. And then we'll put them back in the oven and finish baking them. So we've got real salted butter. We use salted butter. If you want to use unsalted, that's fine. It's your preference.
Yeah. Okay. We're just going to brush the biscuits with the butter.
Oh my goodness.
To let the butter flavor soak through.
There's nothing better than butter on a biscuit. You guys, y'all know how I am about my butter.
Yeah, Brandon.
3 tablespoons of melted butter, and that was just a perfect amount.
Nothing wasted.
To go on those biscuits.
Okay, we're ready to go back in the oven for 9 more minutes.
Slide them back in and
here we go.
All right, we're going to come back as soon as we get these biscuits out of the oven and show you how pretty they are. And we may even stop and taste one of them. How about that? All right, stay with us. All right, our timer just went off on the biscuits, so Tami's going to take them out and we're going to get a good peek at them. And boy, do they smell good. Oh, they are smelling. If you could smell this kitchen right now with all this flour and butter and all this goodness going on. Oh, man.
Here we go.
Oh, how pretty. Can y'all see that good? Let's hold that up there so they can see it good. Looky there. What a beautiful pan of biscuits.
I hope y'all like my biscuits.
Oh, that smells so good.
Oh, it's hot. That is good.
That little crispy edge and that soft center.
And the Crisco is what makes it soft, but
we like
that's my biscuits.
A good soft biscuit. And we got 2 more coming. Can y'all see in that plate? Looky there. Oh, we're going to have some good eating tonight. All right. So stay with us and we're going to come back. And next we're going to do bacon cheddar biscuits with Stephanie. All right, so we're back. And Stephanie's here to make her cheddar bacon biscuits. So I'm going to scoot on the other side of her. And I'll be her sous chef if she needs anything, okay? All right, here we go. So tell us what you're doing, girl.
All right, you're gonna start out with 2 3/4 cups of self-rising flour.
Again, we use the white lily. We're a white lily family. Always have. I love these canisters because you got the scoop here you can level it off with, and 2 3/4. My daughter-in-law's daughters know how to cook. So do my sons. I've always wanted to make sure my kids knew how to cook. All right, so what have we got next?
All right, now you're gonna take a pastry cutter and you're gonna cut in 2 sticks of salted butter.
Now, do you put salt or anything in yours?
I do, but you don't have to.
Okay. But you'll put that in after your butter?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got these cut up in little cubes so they'll cut in easier.
And you've kept them cold in the refrigerator. You name it. Put a good big old pot of beef stew in front of you and have some good hot buttered biscuits. Oh man, there's nothing any better. We love our biscuits. So you got 2 sticks of cut up butter, cold butter, 2 3/4 cups of flour. And she's gonna cut that in. And you do it like pea-sized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so while she's cutting that in, we'll take us a little short break and we'll come back. And so you don't have to sit here and watch us cut butter into the flour.
Yeah, because it takes a bit.
So, but we'll be back in just a minute and she'll have all this finished up and we'll be ready to put these biscuits together. Okay. All right, she's got the butter cut in. So now I'm gonna let her tell you what she does next.
All right, so now we got the butter in and now it's buttermilk time.
You need a spoon, a spatula, or
Need a spatula.
spatula. Let's see what you want right here in this drawer. How big or little? Again, she's using whole milk, whole buttermilk. And if you don't have it, she's found that if you add 1 or 2 tablespoons.
1 tablespoon to 1 cup of fat-free buttermilk.
Yeah, and it makes a good whole buttermilk because the fat-free, again, we said it earlier, is thinner and it don't take as much. So she's using a cup, and if you use the fat-free, you may not need a cup. So that's such a pretty dough, guys. This is looking so soft. And
at this point, not all the way mixed, is when you're gonna add your bacon pieces. You can use cooked bacon that you've cooked and chop it up and put it in there. I use the store-bought bacon pieces and your cheese. So in this, you're gonna use about half a cup of bacon pieces.
okay, so you just got the, that's like the real bacon bits. They're just in a package, not those imitation hard kind.
And then you're gonna use a cup of shredded cheese.
You using mild, sharp? I guess you can do whatever you want.
I'm using mild. You can do whatever you want. I did learn you want to use the finely shredded.
Finely shredded. I like the sharp, and the hubby likes mild, so sometimes we compromise, and I do a mixture of both.
And at this point, you're gonna have to start working with your hands.
Good clean hands, that's the best tools you got in the kitchen. So who'd you learn to make biscuits from, Stephanie?
My mom tried to teach me her recipe, and I recently just got that down pat. This one I kind of found and fixed on my own. Biscuit is not my wheelhouse go-to.
So you just kind of started practicing and
Yep.
got it where you wanted it. That's how you cook. That's how you learn to cook. If it's a flop, you throw it in the trash and start over. Nobody has to know. And I've done that myself a few times. And so not everything turns out right the first time. You learn from your mistakes and you know where to go from there.
All right, and at this point, you're gonna flour you a flat surface, and we're gonna have to roll these out.
Okay,
and cut
so
'em.
let me give her a minute to get her surface floured, get her rolling pin ready, and we'll be right back, okay? Stay with us. All right, she is ready to roll biscuits. She's got her board
Flour,
flour.
and you're gonna use a rolling pin, and you're gonna want to flour it as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good if they stuck to your rolling pin, would it?
No, that's messy.
You want them all in the pan, not on the, not on your rolling pin. Oh, those look so good. I've tasted them, I've had them, and they are delicious. And about how thick do you roll them out?
I like them to be a little bit thick.
Half inch,
But also
maybe?
you're gonna get it out and you're layering it. So you're gonna fold it on itself. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a layery kind of flaky biscuit.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't just start rolling, you fold and roll, fold and roll.
Yeah, and this time I will start getting it ready to cut.
Okay. About 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch thick, because they'll rise up.
Right, in the biscuit cutter.
When you say about 1/2 inch right there, huh?
Yep. And I've already greased my sheet pan with Crisco.
And I think another thing to remember is when you cut out your biscuit, you go down and up, don't twist it. As if you twist it, it kind of seals those edges and they won't rise. Oh, that's a beautiful biscuit right there. I'm gonna hold one up close and let them see how pretty that is. My goodness, looky there.
You can see the
Yes.
bacon and you can see the layers that are going to come out.
Yeah, and it's all that cheese in there. Ooh, wait. Now that is the perfect biscuit for a pot of stew come winter time. But while we're here waiting on her to cut out biscuits, I just want to touch base with y'all. We've got some exciting videos that we're going to be working on coming up. And next week I've got one that I'm going to do with, not sure yet what we're going to cook, but I've got a nephew that's coming down and going to cook with me. And he sings. He's has a beautiful voice, a great singer. And Stephanie and I are already working on our plans for our holidays. So I want you guys to stay with us and see what we've got coming up. So we've got some exciting things coming, and we're excited to get them done and get them out there.
All right, and you're going to have some leftover bits. You just work it back and roll it out.
All right, so we're going to pause right here for a minute and let her finish rolling them out, and then we'll come back and let her get them in the oven, and she can tell us how long she's going to cook them and at what temperature, okay? Hang on for me. Look at that beautiful pan of biscuits, guys. See all that bacon and that cheddar in there? She's going to put them in the oven and baking them at what temperature?
425 for 12 to 15 minutes.
All right, so we'll get those slipped in and get those baking. We'll get hers finished up, and when we get done with hers, Parker and I are going to make you some of his biscuits. So y'all stay tuned and stay with us, and we're going to get this cleaned up a little bit, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes, okay? All right, I thought I heard the buzzer go off.
You went off.
Our biscuits are ready. She's going to take them out. I'm ready to have one. Oh, they smell so good. Look at, oh my goodness, guys, look at those biscuits. Ooh, Stephanie.
And now butter them.
More butter. Butter makes everything better. Makes me happy. Oh my word. We're going to have one of these. When you add that butter, now this biscuit smells so good, but when you add that butter on top of that hot, warm biscuit, it has just done something to this kitchen, y'all. That goodness and scrumptiousness of that is just amazing.
There you go.
There we go. Let's hold one up here close. I've just got to. I have just got to. Looky there. It's going to be hot, but y'all, I'm going to break one open. Let's do that. Oh, how soft. Looky there. Look at the inside. You see that steam coming out of that biscuit? You want a biscuit, Parker?
Oh, yeah.
Your biscuits are coming up next.
I want my too.
Mmm. 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 Mmm.
Thank you.
I don't know what else to say. Mmm.
Mmm.
Oh gosh, those are
That's
good.
so good.
Breakfast in
Delicious.
one biscuit.
It is.
They're so
All
soft.
we need now is some eggs and some gravy, and we're going to have some in a little bit. All right, stay with us. We're going to get Parker's biscuits going. You ready to make some biscuits, buddy?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's set him up, and we'll be back in just a minute with you guys, okay? Hold on. Last but not least, the most anticipated biscuit for me is Parker's Biscuits. He's been making this since he was a little fella. I told you I was set up on my counter. We've made biscuits, and then he stood on a stool, and now he's taller than I am. So we're going to get started. You ready?
I am.
All right, so let's go measure out our flour. He uses 3 cups of white lily self-rising flour. And we'll measure it out into this bowl. Just dip your spoon in there, honey. You don't have to do it like that. Yeah, there you go. Scrape it off on the side of on this thing. There you go.
That's a cool gadget.
Yeah, I love those canisters. And you can find those on my Amazon store. We'll have it linked in the video as well in the description box. 2 and 1 more. There you go. All right. 3 cups of white lily self-rising flour. Now, put your pinch of salt in there. I like to put a little bit of salt in. Even though you use salted butter, I like to put a little bit of salt in it. There you go, about like that. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably about half a teaspoon. It's not a lot of salt. Okay, and stir it together. You don't want salt in one spot and all flour in another. And distribute it out, right?
Yep. My hands are clean. I stir with my hands on
Yep.
powder stuff.
We made sure he washed his hands. They're always clean. Grams won't let him in the kitchen without clean hands. So he's got 1 cup of cold butter that's been cut up in little cubes. You ready for it?
All right.
All right. Drop that in there, and then he'll start cutting it in with his trusty pastry blender. All right. We use 1 stick of butter and ours. If we think we need more, we can always come back and add more. But we've always used 1 stick. But you want it cold so it'll puff up and get all that steam released from that butter. And makes them good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
But he has a little secret. He always has some leftover biscuit dough. So we'll wait to the end and let you see what he does with his leftover biscuit dough. So how big do you get your butter? About pea size, maybe?
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of weird doing this because the butter will get stuck to this and then you struggle doing it.
Have to kind of knock it off the blades, don't you?
Yeah.
Good. Now measuring out just over a cup of buttermilk. I don't know if we'll need all of it or if we'll need more. But it's like 1 1/4 cups. I think it's good. So we'll let him stir in his buttermilk and get these all mixed up. Now we scoop them with the ice cream scoop. So there's different ways you can do them. We've had hand rolled biscuits, we've had cut biscuits, now we're doing scoop biscuits. All right. And it'll come together. It's gonna look a little bit wet on these biscuits, but that's what we want. So while he's stirring it together, give me a minute. We're gonna melt some butter for him. And while he pulls those together, and then we'll be right back and let him finish them up for you and put them on the pan, okay? Hang on. All right, he's got this all mixed up. Now, once you see the consistency of his dough, so it looks a little wet, but I mean, it's not wet, but it just looks a little bit wet. So I'm gonna let him scoop them out onto his sheet pan, and we lightly sprayed it. He uses just a regular ice cream scoop. And these are gonna rise and puff up. We're gonna brush some melted butter over them. So this should make probably what, close to, I don't know, 9 or 10 biscuits.
Maybe around that, yeah. A little bit more.
Yeah. So we've got our oven set at 425. You knew there would not be a shortage of butter today, didn't you? Sometimes we brush it with milk, don't we? Here you
Sometimes.
go. We've brushed it with heavy cream or half and half. I think butter's our favorite though, isn't it?
You can never go wrong with butter.
That's for sure. So let's get his biscuits buttered, and we're going to put them in the oven on 425. We're going to check them in about 15, 18 minutes and see what they look like, and then we're going to come back and check out these biscuits and make his prize, okay? We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so we're about to make his special breakfast pizza. He uses his leftover pizza dough and he rolls it out. We'll bake it, and sometimes he tops it with pizza sauce and pepperoni, and sometimes we top it with scrambled eggs and gravy, which is what we're going to do today. And it's going to be so good. Parker, that is turning out to be a beautiful, beautiful dough there. We had to go back, and the way we make his biscuits, they're a little moister. So we had to add flour to make it where we can roll it out, because you want it a little thicker. And I think that's a good thickness, don't you? When you lift it up, or try the little, there you go. Oh, now see, that's what you want. See it coming right off of that board. And he's going to slip it right there on his pan. And we're going to put this in the oven and bake it up. And when he comes back, he's going to top it with all his good stuff. So give us just a few minutes and we'll be right back with you, okay? All right, he just took his biscuits out of the oven. Now look how pretty. Get them a little closer so they can get a good look at those biscuits. Oh my goodness. Now what are we going to do next?
Put more butter on them.
More butter. We're full of butter. That just makes them so good, doesn't it? All right. So we're going to get those buttered. He's going to get them finished buttered. We got his little pizza, biscuit pizza in the oven, and it'll be out in just I don't know, 6-7 minutes. It's thin, so it doesn't take long to cook. And then when it comes out, we're going to have everything else ready, and I'm going to let him show you how he puts his little breakfast pizza together, okay? Hang on. He just took his breakfast pizza. Hold it up for him to see what it looks like. He just took it out of the oven. See how it is? It's a biscuit. It's flat. So now we're going to doctor it up. Ooh-wee. He can fix it up and put all kind of good stuff on it. Fix it like he wants it.
What do you think?
I think you should put some of that gravy on it, and some of those eggs, and some of that sausage. We cooked some smoked sausage. We cooked sausage gravy, and we made some scrambled eggs. He has always done this with any leftover biscuit dough. Of course, conveniently, we've always had leftover biscuit dough. We're going to get us some forks and some knives. Oh, that's noisy. I'm sorry. And we are going to try all this delicious food, Parker. right.
There we
Got
go.
it. Look at this. Now, that's his breakfast pizza. You want to try it for the people and tell them how good it is?
Absolutely.
All right. You almost pick it up and eat it like a pizza, can't you?
Probably can.
Look at there. That's the perfect bite. You got a little bit of all of it in one spot. Tell us how it is.
Good.
Is it good? I know it is. All right, so let's make us a plate. I'm going to show you how I'm going to put one of our biscuits together. Okay, we're going to use we got all kinds. We're going to use one of Parker's biscuits. We're going to lay it right there in the center of the plate. And we are going to, kind of like what he did, we're going to smother it. Smother it with all this good gravy. You know, breakfast is good anytime. I'd rather have it at night for dinner, but it's good any time of the day. I don't care who you are. We're going to put some eggs right there on it. Looky there. Just pile them right on top there. It don't matter. It's going to get mixed up anyway, right? So then we're going to put us some sausages on it like he did. And I'm going to garnish ours. I'm going to garnish this one a little bit. I didn't have any chives, so I'm using some scallions. And we're going to put that on there. We've got some orange segments. Going to have a little fruit. Now, what a beautiful breakfast plate. All made with simple flour and butter. And you've got a delicious dinner. You've got a delicious breakfast, lunch, brunch. All right, you saw that beautiful plate. Now we're going to do a taste test. Here is the big one. Let's see how good we did today. I know the biscuits are good, so see how good I did with gravy.
Come on, Parker, get you a bite.
So you eat with your eyes first, but isn't that such a pretty plate?
That looks
You
good.
add that fruit on there, and that just brings it out, doesn't it?
You want to bite? No?
Well, he ate some of his.
What we got? Eggs, biscuit, and
Eggs, biscuit, sausage gravy.
sausage gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hot? Okay.
Yeah.
Delicious.
All right. I think we have a winner here tonight. Brunch. Thanks for joining us today. We certainly appreciate you being in the kitchen with us. And I want to thank Parker and Stephanie and Tami for all being here with me. And I certainly love and appreciate all the support you guys have given us. And you know, we've been through the COVID, so we're over that now. We're bouncing back, and hopefully we're going to get back in the swing. And we felt all the love and prayers that you guys sent our way. Thank you all. We love you all. And join us again next time. Thank you. We'll see you soon.